Welcome to Clash on the Coast 2023 from Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. My name is Lawrence Shahley. I'm joined alongside me. We have Ryan Rhodes. A pleasure to have you in the commentary box. Our third member of our team is Brittany Diamond, who will be on the floor talking to these athletes later on today. And we are down to 12 of the strongest men on the planet ready to win this title.
Absolutely. We're primed for an incredible show today. We've whittled this down from hundreds of people over the last year into the final 12 strongest athletes that we have in the male 105 kilo division.
5 events to get through?
5 events to get through.
Tell us about these events these guys will be doing today.
Well, as I believe we're starting it off today with the circus dumbbell. This is going to be a replica of the famous Louis Cyr dumbbell, weighs 210 pounds.
Yeah, 210 pounds to be lifted as many times as possible. This is pretty much body weight for a lot of these guys as well. Not far off it. They're trying to lift it in one hand overhead as many times as possible. We've got the deadlift medley. This is an interesting one, the deadlift medley today, because there's going to be 3 variations of a deadlift.
Correct. And if you were able to tune in and catch yesterday's event, it was very pull intensive. So these athletes' backs are already taxed. They're already feeling the pain. And we're going to bring them in and we're going to run them through a deadlift ladder that is going to suck the last bit of life out of them.
They're going to be feeling it. Yeah, that last deadlift is about reps as well. So even if they get to the last one, it's how many they can do. It's going to be I believe it's a Zercher deadlift we've got. Then we've got a sumo deadlift. Now that's very interesting to see in a strongman competition.
You almost never see the sumo deadlift in a strongman competition, but we had extra deadlifts, so let's throw a sumo in there.
Yeah, we're throwing it in there, and then we're going for a conventional deadlift, 4 reps at the end of all that. Then we move on to the yoke and keg medley. This is going to be taxing straight after the deadlift.
Absolutely. So the athlete is going to have to pick up that yoke and then run with a keg after running with that yoke. What's the weight on the yoke today, DeLos?
800 pounds on the yoke. So it's a huge weight. I mean, that's the weight we used to see at World's Strongest Man for the heavyweights.
Really, the sport's come so far, and now we're seeing those weights in 105 kilo athletes now, not just the opens.
And the event I'm really looking forward to today is the sandbag to shoulder.
Absolutely.
Saw this event here last year, and the guts and determination from these athletes to get that sandbag up to the shoulder. It's 5 bags they've got to get through. Every sandbag gets heavier and heavier. Their energy levels drain as they go up to those heavier ones. It's going to be tough.
Absolutely. The sandbag never disappoints. There's always a little bit of fun, a little bit of drama that happens with that event.
And then finally, we finish with the stones over the post, a head-to-head stone event, as many reps as possible.
And whatever they've got left, they're going to leave it all on display right there. That is going to be
Their backs are going to be on fire.
It's going to be a disgusting event at some point to witness.
So we are just getting ready for this first event. Athletes look like they're warmed up and ready to go. You can see they are all nervous right now. Some of the athletes are just off camera right now, but you can see them all wanting to get this first event out of the way. This is the most nervous the athletes feel all day.
Absolutely. The first event, jitters. You get in there and you just want to get it over with it and get on with the rest of the competition.
So as I said, we've got 12 athletes, and we're starting with Frank Prevanzio from the USA. From Ireland, we've got Matt McKeegan, Tim Mikowski from USA, Eric Olmsted from the USA, Isaac Mays from Canada, the current champion. Last year's champion, can he defend again this year? He's got some big opposition to fight off. Vince Wilkinson from USA, Bob Schwantz from the USA, Richard Mokazambia. How do you say that one properly? I know you know this guy better than me. Machagamba. There we go. And then we've got Matt McQuinston, Matt Powell, Andrew Clayton. This guy is the current world champion at the under 105 class. Hugely powerful athlete. He actually competed as a heavyweight for a few years.
He did at one point. Andrew was competing at 360.
That's a huge weight drop. He's an amazing athlete. This guy does everything.
Incredibly strong and never gives up.
And then finally, another favorite today, Dan Hughes. So 12 fantastic athletes.
12 fantastic athletes, a number of veterans competing also this weekend.
And we are heading to our first commercial. We'll be back shortly.
Through our struggles, there are opportunities. Opportunities that can change us and change the world. Born out of risk, strife, persistence, and triumph. From the bottom, we can rise. Risen, we can dominate. We are strong. We are pioneer.
All about a quality product that lasts a really long time that you never have to worry about.
As an all-volunteer organization, our stated purpose is to give back to those most affected from the global war on terror. These are our single, double, triple amputees. In the last several years, we've been able to build 5 wheelchair-accessible homes, and since then, we've changed our focus and we're looking to combat veteran homelessness as a whole. If you have the ability and the means to give back in any way, please visit ninelinefoundation.org and see how you can help.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity in unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
Welcome back to Hilton Head Island, where we have our first athlete coming out for the dumbbell press.
This is Frank Provenzano from New Jersey.
Good
And
first
Matt
rep.
McKeegan, both.
Matt McKeegan was second at this contest last year, an amazing deadlifter, been working hard on his overhead. Frank just struggling there on that second rep.
Frank's got an injured bicep he's fighting against, so that two-handed clean isn't going to be available to him like it is with McKeegan.
Matthew looking solid on this dumbbell so far. Good leg drive. Real powerful athlete. Strong legs, strong back.
Absolutely, and he's got a lot of room left.
Oh, and as we say that, it just starts to fatigue. That fatigue element builds up. 10 seconds, time for one more rep. No, just not enough energy.
Looks like they're both going to wave it off. It was an excellent performance by each of them.
I think Frank hit one rep there, I believe. We'll confirm the scores shortly.
Up next, Mikowski and Olmstead.
So our next 2 athletes, we have Tim Mikowski and Eric Olmstead, both from the USA. Neither of these athletes put this as one of their favorite events. Both taller for the under 105 class.
To be able to do this years ago, once, was a world-class feat. To be able to do this for reps a number of times in competition over 2 days is an incredible.
It's a very tough event, very technical. A lot of people don't realize how much technique is involved in the dumbbell, but you need to also learn to combine your whole body. Although it looks like it's shoulders and triceps, it's actually their whole body. A lot of leg power, the stability needed in the shoulders and upper body to maintain that positioning while it's pressing against the side of their head.
It's also very difficult to
so
train
close.
at home.
Also, the SEER dumbbell is very different to other types of dumbbells that we use in competition as well.
Correct. They're quite a bit smaller and not what these competitors are used to using. These ones were made specifically for Clash on the Coast.
So we are going to see our current champion, Isaac Mays from Canada, last year's winner.
Versus Wilkinson, the West Point grad from Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Was impressed with Wilkinson in the qualifying heats.
For Strongman of the Year, he certainly has a lot of way to go and somebody to watch in the sport.
Isaac, just strong. He's kind of pressing that out. Just showing huge shoulder and tricep power.
Isaac definitely has a world-class press. He's a well-balanced athlete overall. Wilkinson having some trouble with this one.
That's the great thing with Strongman. It challenges these athletes in so many ways. We may see him excel in events later on. This one, not a strength for the young man from the USA.
Is not for sure. Mays looking to take an early lead here. Just barely missing the call on that lockout and waving it off.
So we are back with our next two athletes. Current champion Isaac Mays making a good start there in that heat. Now we have Bob Schwantz.
And Richard Machazemba.
Bob Schwantz is the quiet man of Strongman. But he's a real battler when he's out there competing. Both athletes struggling there, but it's a good rep for Richard. Bob can't quite lock out. He's getting good drive, just can't quite fix it in that locked out position.
Richard going for number 2.
Mozagamba going for rep 2. Nice rack position.
Nice, and just misses the call.
He's getting good leg drive in there, he's just struggling to get that lockout. It's huge weight, 210 pounds.
I admire these athletes weighed in at 231 pounds. It's like Bob is weighed off. And that's going to be it for Richard.
One of the hard things with this contest is the amount of events that they have. It's going to be a total of 10 events that they've completed to make it through the qualifying stages and now battle it out in this final. Their bodies are already beat up from yesterday's event. They're feeling it. Now it's how much do you want it? How well's training gone? How conditioned you are to cope with the amount of events you have to take part in?
Exactly, and what is left.
So a battle of the mats. We have Matt McQuinston and Matt Powell up next.
Matt Powell, a strength and conditioning coach for the Ranger Training Brigade over in Georgia. Both with the easy clean.
And a good rep for both athletes there. There we go, both athletes hitting 2.
Matching each other, rep for rep, time for time. Powell beaten to the clean.
They know, this smart athlete just knowing he's done as much as he can and leaving it. Some athletes just keep trying and trying and trying and failing. He knows he's got to save energy.
I think Matt's going again. Let's see if he can get it. No. Oh, very close, but couldn't hold the lockout.
We have 2 more athletes to come. And it's 2 of our favorites, so this should be a battle. We've got Dan Hughes and Andrew Clayton. Andrew Clayton, the current world champion. And I believe Dan Hughes was second in that contest.
Andrew, former heavyweight, ultra-marathon runner, and just a heck of an athlete all around. Definitely a favorite for this contest. Dan Hughes, also an incredible athlete.
Powerful.
But Andrew is a master overhead presser. You will find few that will press like Andrew does in this sport.
Andrew just looking so comfortable with this dumbbell. It's 3 reps already.
Using the split jerk, Andrew was actually the first to split jerk a circle dumbbell. We're going to see if he gets that a little bit deeper as the reps get longer.
Looking really solid here. Oh, he just missed out that one there.
You be careful, that dumbbell gets behind you. You can sublux that shoulder.
It shows how technical it is because he's making it look so easy when he hits it right. But if that balance isn't right, the dumbbell just beats you up.
Absolutely.
He's done enough there to take the win. Andrew Clayton doing exactly what he needs to do on this first event.
Taking the lead by far.
5 reps, wins the first event, and I'm sure we will get to speak to him shortly. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back soon.
Through our struggles, there are opportunities. Opportunities that can change us and change the world. Born out of risk, strife, persistence, and triumph. From the bottom, we can rise. Risen, we can dominate. We are strong. We are pioneer.
As an all-volunteer organization, our stated purpose is to give back to those most affected from the global war on terror. These are our single, double, triple amputees. In the last several years, we've been able to build 5 wheelchair-accessible homes, and since then, we've changed our focus, and we're looking to combat veteran homelessness as a whole. If you have the ability and the means to give back in any way, please visit 9linefoundation.org and see how you can help.
All about a quality product that lasts a really long time that you never have to worry about.
I'm here with Andrew. Andrew just came off, as you can see, from the SEER dumbbell press and won. Andrew, how many reps was that?
I think it was 6.
That looked like amazing. So that was 210 pounds, correct?
Yeah, it's 210 pounds, they said. I didn't really feel it because I'm pretty strong right now. I probably should have done 8, but I figured I want to keep it close to the rest of the competition.
Right now, you're strong, not all the time?
Yeah, I'm pretty strong.
Now, you train out of your garage, correct? So did you get to actually train on the SEER dumbbell, or how did you implement that in training?
I do whatever it takes to win. So I'm going to win that event, and I'm going to win at least 3 more.
3 more of the day. Which event are you most excited for today? We have a bunch of events that I am. I'm excited for Stones.
Probably the after party.
How do you feel about my favorite event, which is in the deadlift, the Zercher squat?
I think it's a technicality, but I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say to anyone watching at home?
I'll keep watching. It's definitely worth the $8.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you. Back to commentators.
So Andrew Clayton starting exactly how he wants to. 6 reps on the 210-pound dumbbell. Interestingly, Matthew McKeegan taking second place there. He got 5 reps.
Edging out Mays with 4.
Mays with 4. So solid start. I mean, our first and second place from last year being pushed down 1 place there. They're going to have a battle to beat Clayton today.
And there's a lot of game left.
He's a confident man, and he started exactly how he wants to.
Exactly, yeah.
But 4 events to go still. There's all things to play for. And this is a great event for McKeegan. So McKeegan having that second place on that first event, he's going to be feeling confident moving into his favorite event, which is the deadlift.
Absolutely.
So we will be staying with the original order. The order is not going to change. So every athlete will keep going in that same order that we had through the dumbbell until we get to the stones, the final event. That's when the order will change. So that's interesting, and that is a big advantage to the guys that go later.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in this sort of competition, it's going to be the 10th event over 2 days.
They did draw to sort out the order. And Andrew Clayton and Dan Hughes, 2 of the favorites, managed to get the last 2 spots. They must have been extremely happy when those numbers came out. But Matthew McKeegan had to go first then, and he took a second place. So it doesn't mean too much. If you've got to push to the limit, you've got to push to the limit.
It will be interesting, though, with Hughes and Clayton finishing at the top of their heats in the qualifiers, going last in the final event. That's a very lucky play.
Absolutely. So our first 2 athletes are ready for this deadlift medley. Zercher deadlift, sumo deadlift, into a deadlift 4 reps. And I believe we have the weights.
And they will be lifting head-to-head and face-to-face. First with the Zercher. McKeegan moving fast through the sumo, onto the conventional.
Deadlifting is McKeegan's bread and butter. This is what he loves doing. Former record holder in this weight class. He's won multiple deadlift events in competition before.
We are on a clock, and a lot of people don't think about that. And so their setup and transitioning has to be fast, because every second counts. Frank getting a late start. McKeegan quite a bit ahead.
McKeegan still going strong. Started to hitch a little bit now, but I think that's 5 reps on the deadlift.
Frank looking strong.
635 pounds for reps.
So Frank has that bicep taped up, hoping it stays together.
Oh, McKeegan is out there. Absolutely exhausted from giving 100%.
It's like McKeegan.
That is sheer exhaustion, pushing himself to the limit.
What a warrior.
I don't think there's any injury. I just think it's just pure exhaustion. Gave everything on that last rep. So, yeah, McKeegan's just...
Looks like he's up.
Just
Very
giving
good.
up. When these athletes go to these limits, the body just breaks down and feels it, and you end up sometimes passing out. Sometimes you just have no energy left in your body and you kind of need to get on that floor. But he's up, he's walking, he's absolutely fine.
It's glad to see.
And the most important thing for him will be looking at the table and seeing how many other people match that or,
That is
or
the
better.
first thing I guarantee you that he will be doing is going to look at what his results were.
So our next two athletes are out. Tim Mikowski and Eric Olmsted. Tell us about the straps that they're using.
Athletes, so we have Olmsted with the sumo going strapless, but Olmsted is using a traditional wrist strap to tie into the bar, which is a lot quicker than using the figure eight that Mikowski is using. You see Mikowski is going to take a second here to get tied into his sumo deadlift, while Olmsted is already onto the conventional pull.
Both pulling well here. Olmsted just looking a little bit slower on that pull. Mikowski going really well.
He's still got a little bit left. Olmsted looks like he's done.
Yeah, that last rep was tough for Olmsted, but
And that's going to be it for Mikowski. Match performance by Mikowski. Olmsted saving it for later.
So our next two athletes are Isaac Mays and Vince Wilkinson. Now this event looks more suited to Wilkinson. He wasn't so good on the dumbbell, but he's got some big, strong legs on him, strong back. And we know Isaac Mays is just a good all-round athlete. There's no weakness there. The champion from Canada.
Isaac is incredibly fast, but Wilkinson is even faster. It's going to be a very interesting matchup.
Here's Isaac Mays on screen now. Zercher squat first, goes up to the knees, arms tuck under, and then he has to stand
Wilkinson
upright.
up first. Into the sumo. Wilkinson through the sumo first.
And Isaac. So both athletes strapped in. Solid rep there for Vince, and Isaac matches him. 2 reps each.
Isaac matching him rep for rep. It's going to be a battle.
And these are
of endurance.
solid, smooth pulls. They're not fast, but they are grinding these out. Look at the effort going into this. Their backs are already beat up from a full day of competition.
Looks like Wilkinson is going to call it.
I think by the end of today, their backs are going to be on fire.
Absolutely.
Isaac digging deep for that extra rep.
Fine.
This is effort right now.
Using that hitch to lock it out. Nice job by both athletes.
So, we move on. Bob Schwantz and Richie Muchigamba are our next two athletes, both again from the USA.
Bob, the Chattahoochee strongman, hails from Georgia.
So athletes just getting focused. Our loaders are making sure everything is in the correct place, everything dusted off.
Mochizamba through the first pull first. Bob stumbling over the Zercher to the sumo. Mochizamba's through the second pull.
Mijigamba has the deadlift record as a middleweight, in the Texas record, 750 pounds as a PB. So he should be looking to get a good few reps on this last deadlift here.
Both athletes coming hard through these deadlifts. I know Bob has had some problem with his back the last day, so looking really strong though.
Both of these men digging deep now. Is there anything left? His work, he couldn't get it over those knees.
Close. Close doesn't cut it. Great job by both athletes.
Once again, we have our battle of the mats. Matt McQuinston versus Matt Powell. Who's going to take this one?
Powell, the training partner of Wilkinson, both Army recruiters over in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Both exceptional athletes. I apologize. Matt Powell is our Ranger Training Brigade strength and conditioning coach.
The referee's just waiting. Athletes are eager to get going.
Looking for some big pulls from these boys right here. So make sure the floor is ready and the athletes are ready. Head Judge Bobby about to kick this off.
Powell, both mats
Fast.
comfortable on the Zercher. I've never seen a sumo in a strongman comp before. Interesting.
It's been a minute.
But these first two deadlifts really are just in there to annoy them before they get to the main deadlift.
And Matt looks strong.
635 pounds. This is powerful.
Matt is going to keep moving that. Powell is killing that deadlift. Look at him go.
Very smooth, efficient lifts. Nice technique, great back position. Really good lifting there. He had more in him.
He did, yeah. Just ran out of time. Excellent job.
Powell happy with his performance there on the deadlift. We've just got two more athletes left to go. Andrew Clayton, winner of the first event, and Dan Hughes.
Two of the biggest threats for the finals right here. Dan, the training partner of Wilkinson, who we saw earlier. An exceptional strongman in his own right. Versus Clayton, who really doesn't have any weaknesses. Both extremely fast through the first pull.
These are flying through these.
Watch for a battle right here.
Matt likes to be known as representing the U.S. Army. Sorry, Dan likes to be known as a U.S. Army representative. Proud countryman. And look at this deadlifting. This is unbelievable. Like a piston, up and down, no stopping. And as I say that, he stops, but he is looking extremely strong.
Sometimes it's the difference between an older competitor and a younger competitor. Knows how to pace himself. Take those breaks that you need and watch that time. That's where the experience shines. And I've been saying Andrew is an incredible athlete. I'm wondering what happened here.
Back is clearly feeling it there. And now we have a competition, because that was not the result Andrew Clayton would have wanted. Dan Hughes coming in with a win. Matt McKeegan also getting good points. We'll be back with the official scores after these commercials.
Through our struggles, there are opportunities. Opportunities that can change us and change the world. Born out of risk, strife, persistence, and triumph. From the bottom we can rise. Risen, we can dominate. We are strong. We are pioneer.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
All about a quality product that lasts a really long time that you never have to worry about.
As an all-volunteer organization, our stated purpose is to give back to those most affected from the global war on terror. These are our single, double, triple amputees. In the last several years, we've been able to build 5 wheelchair-accessible homes, and since then, we've changed our focus and we're looking to combat veteran homelessness as a whole. If you have the ability and the means to give back in any way, please visit ninelinefoundation.org and see how you can help.
I'm here with Dan Hughes. Dan just won the deadlift event, 10 reps on the last conventional, which was 635, correct?
Yeah, 635. It started with a 405 searcher into a 545 deadlift, sumo deadlift, and then 635 for reps.
I was so excited to finally see a Zercher in an event. How did that feel to get it over with when you saw the event listing that? Did you train for it? Like, do you usually do Zerchers in your training?
Yeah, my coach Terry Rady has me throwing Zerchers fairly regularly, usually as like a supplement for stones and stuff like that. So I was really excited when I saw it. 405 is usually pretty light for me. I think I demonstrated that in this event.
Did you plan to go in? Was that kind of your plan of action to win the deadlift? I know, Dan, you're all known for deadlifting events.
Yeah, I mean, we knew the biggest issue is going to be transition. Seems like the last 3 comps I've done was 635 axle for reps, so we knew that wasn't going to be an issue. Yeah. So it's how fast I could get through each event. I only stopped because I asked him if that was enough to win it, and he said yeah, so I walked off with a couple seconds left.
Oh, that was perfect. That doesn't usually happen. So how do you feel? We have a medley next, and then we have stones, and what other event do we have today?
Sandbag to shoulder after the yoke keg medley, and then last man standing stone. So I knew there was a lot left to do. There's no point in making a statement of doing more reps than I need to do. So.
And today's also moving very fast, being in the finals. So kind of what is your plan of action for the rest of the day?
It's, stay in my own mind, not lose focus. As soon as you're done with the event, come down, do some breath exercises, get your heart rate down, get ready to spike it back up. No wasted energy between events because it's a very short day.
Absolutely, you're smart. Anything you want to say to anyone back home watching at your gym?
No, I mean, I appreciate, yes, sorry.
He just came off.
Yeah, still catching my breath. Thank you, everybody on the U.S. Army Warrior Fitness team for supporting me and through my training, my coach, Trey Rady, my nutrition coach, Justin Loy, and, of course, my wife, above all.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to get back to the action. Good luck, Dan.
Fantastic performance there from Dan Hughes, taking the win with 10 reps on the deadlift.
Represent the U.S. Army well.
Indeed. We had second place was Frank. Check that.
Frank Provenzano
Frank
with 9
Provenzano
reps
with 9.
in second.
That's unbelievable. And then we had a tie for third with McKeegan and Powell both getting 8 reps. So the interesting one there is Clayton only got 4 reps. So after that good solid start, he's almost at the bottom on this event, and we have a wide open competition right now.
It isn't his strongest event, but Andrew is an extremely competitive athlete, and you'll see him come back for sure. It's like we're getting set for the sandbag to shoulder event.
No, we've got the yoke and sandbag medley, I believe, next.
Okay.
Yoke carry into the keg toss. Sorry, the keg load. So we have an 800-pound yoke, a 275-pound keg, and a 300-pound keg. This is about speed more than anything.
The athlete is going to have to pick that yoke up and move as quickly as possible to the finish line. Then return, grab the keg, run that, load it over the yoke, return back, pick up the other keg, and load that one over the yoke as well.
Results from the deadlift, our top 5. Dan Hughes taking the win there with that 10. And we have our first athletes ready for this event. Now often, a yoke on its own would be an event. Now we are making it harder. They've really got to move as quick as they can on this first implement, then it's sprint back to the first keg, carry that as fast as you can, and sprint back. All about speed and timing.
It's a luxury we have with these 105K athletes. They represent the best athletes that we have in this sport.
Frank Provenzano absolutely lightning there on that yoke, making
Burning
800 pounds look like nothing on his back. Let's see how he copes with these kegs. Kegs are a bit more challenging, giving Matthew McKeegan a chance to catch back up, and Matthew could get ahead here. He does.
Frank's got that bicep injury. He's going to watch that.
And he doesn't get it over. So he went off like a rocket, but it's a bit of tortoise in the hare going on here. With Matt McKeegan now already onto his last keg. Can he get this over? That bicep is going to be screaming at Frank.
He knows it. In his head right now, he's thinking, is this worth it? Can I do this?
So, Matthew McKeegan winning that heat, managing to load one of the kegs, unable to load the second keg, and they're only taking split timing once that keg goes over. They're not taking distances, so it will all come down to the time for the first keg for Matthew McKeegan.
We're so close in the deadlift event that may end up putting McKeegan ahead in the standings.
It's all about consistency, not dropping points, and so far he's had 2 good results. So do you want to introduce our next 2 athletes coming up?
Looks like we've got Tim Mikowski and Eric Olmstead coming up next. Both 2 taller American athletes. Both of them having a harder time in the deadlift medley. This will be interesting to see how they perform here. A lot of the same strengths required to load these kegs.
More athletic looking, though. This type of event should suit them. Taller athletes should be able to cope better with the kegs.
See, those long arms can help.
The only disadvantage for the taller guys is they have to go over the yoke, so the taller athletes will set the yoke higher. So essentially...
Yes, but they also have a longer stride. And as you can see right now, Mikowski burning through the yoke, going to the first keg. Olmsted right behind. Mikowski keeping a fiery pace on this course. Back to the third keg, while Olmsted is stumbling on the first.
Mikowski, can he be our first athlete to load this 300-pound keg? Needs to roll it up his body, drive through the hips.
There
yes.
we go. Tim Mikowski taking the lead.
Have a finisher right there. Olmsted has time. Can he get this over? Not quite. Thanking the crowd for the support there. He's smiling.
Excellent effort by both
Inside,
athletes.
it'll be hurting. You know that effort that you put in to carry that all the way down there, but not get a point for all that effort. It's mentally draining.
It is a letdown, but he did get for the first, and it's putting him on par with the rest of the field so far.
Next up, we have Isaac Mays and Vince Wilkinson. These loaders working so hard all weekend, making sure everything is reset. They lift more weight than anyone this weekend.
Absolutely. We can never do this without the help of our loaders. Wilkinson showing off that speed through the yoke. First
Wilkinson
over.
on the silver yoke.
Needs to
Isaac
keep
Mays
that
on
pace
the
up.
black one, and now we have Wilkinson here on screen. Looks like he should be able to do this no problem.
Does have the largest stride of the two and is a bit taller, but Isaac gets through the first keg first.
Push it over. There we go. Isaac already on to that second 300-pound keg.
Wilkinson looking a little tired. I'm surprised.
Can Isaac Mays get this over?
Isaac Mays,
he's so close.
Our defending champion is an animal. There's no doubt.
There we go. Finishes.
Wilkinson not far behind.
I think the pace of this show really starting to show.
Exactly.
These are fit athletes. And they are feeling the pace right now. We're already into event number 3.
Isaac staying very consistent through the first couple of events.
Isaac doing what he needs to do. Keep applying pressure, keep getting points on the board. That's what it's all about. Strongman's an interesting sport. It's not about necessarily being the best at any one particular thing. You just need to be consistently good and make sure at the end of the day when you get down to that stone event, you're battling and you're in that top 3.
Absolutely. And like we've said many times before, in an event like this isn't like really any other show that these competitors will compete in throughout the year. There's so much going on in so little time. A lot of times it's just about outlasting the guy that comes next.
Bob Schwantz. Bob on screen right now.
And Richard Mochizemba. Fast.
Just ahead. It almost looked like a leisurely jog back, but he ate up the ground fast. A long stride for a lighter athlete.
Machin moving fast through this course and the rest of the show. On to the third keg already.
He's looking very comfortable on these. This is good.
Bob easy with the first. Mochi going for number 2.
Mochigamba, can he get it over? Just needs to push hard now, come on. There we go. He gets it. Another finisher. You know, originally there was going to be a third keg. I think it was the right decision to cut it down to 2 with how many of these athletes are struggling.
No, we needed to save some athletes for next year.
Bob giving absolutely everything there.
Oh, the Brute's out. Brute's out today. Y'all are in trouble.
Up next, we got Matt McQuiston and Matt Powell. The two Matts going head-to-head again. Strong event for both competitors.
Matt is a strong name today. 3 of our athletes are finalists. This looks close between these two.
Powell taking the early lead.
Good sprint towards the end there.
Keeping a fast pace to that keg. This is exactly how you want to move. Every second counts.
He is really attacking this.
Needs to position, arch, and load. There he goes with the first kick split.
Back.
And it's going to be a battle for the second keg. Powell taking the lead. Both competitors will have to reposition.
This is close. Who's going to get this first? Come on.
Come down to milliseconds.
Oh, can he push it over?
Powell slipping.
No! So close. So close there. Crowd wanted to see them try one last time, but both are athletes.
Powell taking the lead on that with the
Exhausted.
split. Great effort by both competitors.
So we are rocketing through this contest. We are down to our last 2 athletes in event number 3, the yoke carry and keg load. And it's Andrew Clayton and the winner of the deadlift, Dan Hughes.
2 of our top competitors. Andrew's extremely fast under yoke.
I've seen him break a number of records on car walks, yokes. Unbelievably fast athlete.
Dan also no slouch. This will be a good battle.
Oh, whoa.
Dan almost taking an early exit from the competition. Andrew off to a
as expected, absolutely rocketing. But Dan is not far behind, and if he can just stay close.
Andrew knows that he needs this to maintain that lead.
Andrew needs to win, whereas Dan just needs a good performance right now. And a small mistake there, but
Andrew over first.
He's just got so much power, it doesn't affect him.
Look at him moving through that second keg. This kid is an animal.
Dan is not far behind.
And Andrew takes it.
If Dan can get this, he keeps the pressure on. Needs to get this over,
Come on,
though.
Dan, you need that.
Come on, he's got to.
He's right there.
So close.
Trying to get that edge up over.
Oh, this is draining.
He's got it. He's got it.
Time is ticking and energy's being expended.
He's putting everything into this,
Wow.
up on one leg. Every part of his body working on this.
Wow, more drama.
Incredible
Flash
effort
on the coast,
by Dan Hughes.
2023. Dan, has he got time to try again? No, he's given everything. That's going to cost him. He was so close. If he got that over in second place, he'd be in a great position. A few points dropped there, but what a performance from Andrew Clayton. Doing exactly what he needed to do after that poor performance on the deadlift. Takes his second win of the day.
Still tight scoring through the top 5. Still anybody's game.
We'll bring you the up-to-date scores as soon as possible. For Andrew Clayton, the winner of event number 3. All 3 implements in 28:15. That was fast.
It's incredible.
Second place was Richie Mozigamba with 38:13 for all 3. And then Tim Mikowski took third, doing all 3 in 40:37.
I'm really impressed with Tim's performance today. I don't think he was on a lot of people's radar. He showed up, and he's really been turning in a fantastic performance.
Yeah, since the not such a good performance on the dumbbell, but since then he's doing really, really well. So there you can see on the screen top 6 from that event. We'll try and get an overall score as soon as we can. And our next event is going to be the sandbag to shoulder, which is a brutal event as well. I saw people collapsing on this one last year. They're going to be lifting sandbags way, way over their body weight, up to shoulder. Every weight gets heavier and heavier. So we will be back after this commercial break with Our fourth event, the sandbag to shoulder.
Through our struggles, there are opportunities. Opportunities that can change us and change the world. Born out of risk, strife, persistence, and triumph. From the bottom, we can rise. Risen, we can dominate. We are strong. We are pioneer.
As an all-volunteer organization, our stated purpose is to give back to those most affected from the global war on terror. These are our single, double, triple amputees. In the last several years, we've been able to build 5 wheelchair-accessible homes, and since then, we've changed our focus and we're looking to combat veteran homelessness as a whole. If you have the ability and the means to give back in any way, please visit ninelinefoundation.org and see how you can help.
Why is just a starting line? For the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
All about a quality product that lasts a really long time that you never have to worry about.
How about you and your husband gonna go throw some kegs?
I think so.
I love it. Awesome. Well, we have one more event. It is the head-to-head stone medley, my personal favorite, so you guys are definitely going to want to stick around.
Great to see these fans enjoying the strongman action today with Brittany Diamond down there. We're moving on to event number 4, the sandbag to shoulder medley. 240, 260, 280, 300 and 320 pounds. To be lifted up to the shoulder, the athlete needs to get it balanced, remove one of the arms, and then wait for the referee to give them a down signal.
McKeegan, obviously very fast and very strong in this event, taking the early lead against Frank Provenzano.
McKeegan looking solid on these early sandbags. That bicep is going to be a big issue on this for Frank.
Got the call just in time on number 3. The real difficulty with these last 2 bags is that they're
Not
so
just do they
wide.
they don't just get heavier, they get bigger as well. But Matt is on to the last one.
Look at him go.
He was good at this last year.
This last bag weighing 110
There
pounds,
we go.
more than the Irishman himself. All through 5 bags, very good performance.
That was very, very solid there. That's going to be a tough time to beat.
It's impressive considering this is the same guy that lost consciousness a few
He
moments
does
ago.
that a lot. He's giving 100% on every event.
Well, if the audience will notice these athletes are performing these events with very little rest in between. It's the amount of exertion and effort they're having to put forward in such a short period of time is incredible. In my opinion, it's more credible than the actual lifts themselves. They really are some of the toughest athletes on the planet.
They are indeed.
Up next, we got Tim Mikowski, Eric Olmstead.
So it's really tight at the top right now. Dan Hughes is currently our leader with 28.5 points. Matt McKeegan in second place, 27.5. Then we have Isaac Mays on 26, Andrew Clayton on 25, and Richard Mozigamba is on 24. Very, very tight at the top, so lots to play for.
Absolutely. And Mikowski coming through big now. He's on his third bag. Olmstead on number 2. These two have struggled earlier in the contest. Mikowski hoping to make up some time here. Small slip up. Mikowski getting that fourth bag. On to number 5.
Mikowski using the gloves, which help with grip as well. It's a smart choice. Some grip on these bags. They're quite slippy. Just lacking the power in the hips to pop that up to his shoulder. It's working though. He's not giving up on it. Oh, it was a great effort. Bobby Thompson, head referee there, making sure the athletes are okay.
Tim leaving it all out there on that one.
Isaac Mays still battling hard to defend his title. He's going to need a big performance on this event.
Against West Point Wilkinson. It's interesting that Vince has only been in the sport for a year and has made it to the very top already.
It's been a rapid rise. So everything is reset. We'll be out with our next athletes very, very shortly.
Crew making the final adjustments to the bags. Mays has done well to pace himself through this through these finals. Of course, Wilkinson extremely fast and powerful.
Let's see how he copes with these sandbags. 240 pounds. Not a problem.
Wilkinson powers it up quickly. Mays beats him to the second bag. Mays taking a vertical stance.
Mays is well practiced on these. He did them last year. Scored very well.
Wilkinson going with that old school horizontal grab. Works for some people too. If you have the arms, the vertical pick on this is more efficient and you can get through it quicker.
You tend to see more of the heavyweights taking that approach with the longer wingspan.
Absolutely.
He's looking good.
He's going to try to lap this again. It's a very long bag. So he's having a hard time getting that to his knees.
Isaac's giving up there. He's not going to be happy with that.
Wilkinson calling it off too.
It shows how impressive Matt McKeegan's performance was earlier.
So it's going to come down to the splits for a lot of these athletes.
So we should have Bob Schwantz and Richie Mozagambi up next.
Bob and Richard both doing incredible work today. And another beautiful day in Hilton Head. I don't think we could have asked for better weather.
Lovely venue right on the beach. Plenty of people walking off the beach to come and watch these big strongmen battle these implements.
Wait for the judge's call. Gamba through the first bag quickly onto the second. Through the second bag quickly.
Yeah, Richie doing well there, Bob. Slow and steady.
Blistering pace. Bob almost lost that one.
He's lucky to get that one, to be quite honest. Let's make sure this one's better, Bob. Come on. There you go. That's more stable.
Gamba, the third bag, looking fired up. Is he going to get this?
This would be big points for Richie if he can do this. And it's going up. He needs to bump it up. Come on, you've got this.
To get it to that shoulder.
Oh.
Both competitors side to side. I think they're both going to call it. Excellent effort. These bags proving to be
Richie
quite a challenge for
blasting
athletes
through
today.
those first four.
Absolutely.
And he was so close then to get the fifth. But that's the difference between execution. Can make such a huge difference at the end of the scores at the end of the day.
And if I'm a competitor in this show, I'm noticing that these guys are blowing through those first four bags, and maybe I pace myself a little bit. Pull back and get that fifth bag.
All comes down to whether you believe you can get the fifth bag or not.
These athletes are so well trained, and they know what they're capable of in training. I mean, after a day of competition, you never know, but
You think how much their backs are screaming at them already,
Absolutely.
and we still have that stone off to come where they've got to try and lift that stone 350-pound stone as many times as possible. Whoever put these events together is an evil person and wanted these athletes to be feeling the back at the end of today.
he is a very sadistic individual, for sure.
Quiston versus Powell, a battle of the mats.
Be looking for another fast performance by both athletes here.
The referee gives the signal, and
Quiston
both
first.
athletes, no problem on bag number one.
Powell close behind.
Another pairing where one athlete has gone with the gloves, one has gone without.
It really just boils down to individual feel. Looks like Powell had a slip and lost the bag before he got the call, while McQuiston has moved through three.
McQuiston looking methodical. Every rep, nice technique. He's not rushing. He's taking your advice and kind of just focusing on one at a time.
Very good pace. I think he's got this. I think he's going to do it.
He's looked capable on every bag so far. What's he got left?
Got to get that corner up to the shoulder. He's right there and slips up and calls it.
Watching him pace through that, I thought it was a possibility. He might get that fifth one.
Very
Gave
close.
a good effort, but unfortunately not to be. That's a man that will want to get all five.
And her last two are two of those men who will want to get all five.
They will. I mean, Andrew really needs to win. And that was his plan all along, was to win 4 out of the 5 events. That's what he said beforehand.
You wanted 4 out of 5.
Yep.
4 out of 5 events.
He's got 2 out of 3 so far, so he cannot put a foot wrong.
Dan McKeegan and Clayton, all within very close standing of each other right now. This is going to be a critical performance for both of these athletes.
This is going to be really important, this one.
Judges get ready. Start the athletes.
And Hughes currently has a 3.5-point lead overall on Clayton.
It's another good event for Andrew, though.
Very good event for Andrew.
Andrew through the first. Just no mistakes. Andrew through the third. Very fast. Dan not far behind, though.
Yeah. Dan needs to focus on his own lane. Not worry about what Andrew's doing.
Look at him go, and Andrew on the final bag. They both know they need this. Andrew has got it, though.
And that was close.
So close.
Very close.
Within a second of each other.
I think Andrew got it.
Excellent job.
But Dan Hughes doing more than enough to maintain his lead going into the final event. We have one event left here at Clash on the Coast 2023. Make sure you join us after this commercial.
Through our struggles, there are opportunities. Opportunities that can change us and change the world. Born out of risk, strife, persistence, and triumph. From the bottom, we can rise. Risen, we can dominate. We are strong. We are Pioneer.
As an all-volunteer organization, our stated purpose is to give back to those most affected from the global war on terror. These are our single, double, triple amputees. In the last several years, we've been able to build 5 wheelchair-accessible homes, and since then, we've changed our focus, and we're looking to combat veteran homelessness as a whole. If you have the ability and the means to give back in any way, please visit ninelinefoundation.org and see how you can help.
Why is just a starting line? For the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
All about a quality product that lasts a really long time that you never have to worry about.
What is probably, have you had any moments of panic this weekend when you've seen the injuries? I know we had quite a few bicep tears yesterday, but anything specific come to mind?
You know, bicep tears really don't shake me too much because I've torn mine at both ends, and both times I competed right after. So I'm sorry it happened to them, but all bicep tears do is hurt. Once they're done, they're done. So they're lucky if that's all that happens.
That's true. I did see you catch a couple people on the deadlift today, correct?
Yes, you did. I'm a big head trauma guy. I've had a few concussions myself, played impact sports, and so when I see somebody go down, the first thing I'm afraid of is their head. Everything else we can sort out later, but we do need to protect their head.
Well, thank you for that. And anything else? What's been the event that you're most excited for?
Honestly, the stone off, or excuse, I don't want to call it the stone off, but the Clash stone off, dare I say, simply because it's the first event I get to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
I get to sit back, relax, and spectate.
So the hard work's done for you.
Not quite yet, but we're pretty close.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for everything, Bobby.
Good to hear from our head referee, Bobby Thompson there. So we've got the results from the sandbag to shoulder. Only 3 athletes managed to do all 5 there. Matthew McKeegan taking 3rd place, 5 in 43.03. But look at these times for our top 2. Dan Hughes, 2nd place, all 5 in 27.73. And Claiborne just beating that with 26.84.
And I can't say that I'm surprised. Those 2 are on fire. But McKeegan has been maintaining an excellent pace coming into the stone-off we have coming up.
Yeah, McKeegan's done exceptionally well today. Really solid performance. And he's a good stone lifter as well. So he's kind of just been consistent.
Right.
He's not won an event.
I found someone else from the crowd. This is Gary, who is no stranger to strongman. Gary, tell me about what you're seeing today.
Oh, wait.
Oh, not yet.
Sorry. Yeah, so we may be doing another interview very, very shortly. But we've got the stone off, which is our final event. 350 pounds as many times as possible. And the way they're going to do this is the athlete in last place is going to go out first against the athlete in second from last. And they will go back and forth until one can no longer do it. Then the next athlete comes in, and so on until we get our final 2 athletes.
Absolutely.
It still is about who lifts the most reps. So you can get to the point where one athlete is left, but they'll want to still keep going because they need more reps to win. But it's a fast-paced, exciting stone off. I saw it for the first time last year, and it's going to be fun.
It is one of the most intense things that you'll see in our sport is watching 2 athletes go to complete failure. There's no time limit. The only limit is how long the athlete can last.
Cool. So we're going to head down to Brittany Diamond, who has another interview for us.
I just pulled Gary from the crowd. Gary is no stranger to strongman, and you have a very important job today. You're kind of organizing. Tell us about what you're doing.
So basically, I'm making sure all these guys get where they need to be. They're out there fast. They got about 5 minutes rest time between each event. So it's running in there, running out, cool off, get some water, and get back out there ready to compete. So.
Yeah, they're moving fast. Have you actually ever seen a show that's moved? There's been, like 6 minutes in between some of the events?
Right, yeah. So that's the biggest challenge. I think the show. It's a heavy show. It's a hard show, but it's fast-paced. So you got about 5 minutes to cool off. It's not like you get to warm up for the next event. You're running. You got to go out there and do like max, loading what you're doing next. So, I mean, that's the biggest challenge. You see these guys going out there like out of breath before they even start the event. And so it's challenging strength and endurance like no other show does.
That's so true. So what are the athletes when you're seeing them run inside? What are they doing in that few minutes they have to prepare?
Basically, first thing you got to do, cool off, get your breath back, and then, what the gear for your next event, do I need different belt, do I need different shoes, different knee sleeves and all that? So, it's get organized by somebody screaming at you to come back out. You got 2 minutes to be out there, go, go, go. So it's hard and it is stressful.
So the next event, the Clash Stone Series, so who do you expect? So it has been pretty much the whole show. It has been Clayton and Dan head-to-head. So what do you think is going to happen for this stone off?
I think it's always hard to tell with stones because, the conditions are weird. It's hot. Tacky gets a little goopy and runny, but, guys are tired. So you got guys that are traditionally good stone loaders will start slipping up. Isaac, I know, is a great stone loader. Dan, like you mentioned, Clayton, everybody. So I think we're going to see some reps over here. I'd expect to see some double-digit reps out of some people.
Do you think that we're going to shake up the points a little bit?
I think so. I think you'll some people in the bottom who didn't do well in other events could really kind of make some jumps here and,
I'm excited to see that. That's my favorite part for anyone watching at home. You have no idea. Someone could be winning the whole show, and then one event could just throw everyone off. So I'm really excited, so you don't want to miss the stone load. Thanks, Gary.
Through our struggles, there are opportunities. Opportunities that can change us and change the world. Born out of risk, strife, persistence, and triumph. From the bottom, we can rise. Risen, we can dominate. We are strong. We are pioneer.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
As an all-volunteer organization, our stated purpose is to give back to those most affected from the global war on terror. These are our single, double, triple amputees. In the last several years, we've been able to build 5 wheelchair-accessible homes, and since then, we've changed our focus, and we're looking to combat veteran homelessness as a whole. If you have the ability and the means to give back in any way, please visit 9linefoundation.org and see how you can help.
All about a quality product that lasts a really long time that you never have to worry about.
It's going to come down to one of them to take the title this year.
It's incredible. I don't know that I could have thought of a better final for this competition than with those 3 athletes.
I'll just quickly, I've got the scores for the overall. So in 4th place, we've got Richie. We've got Isaac Mays, last year's champion, in 5th place. And then McQuinst is 24. Mikowski is on 23. It's all close between every single athlete here. Powell's on 22.5. So there's still lots to fight for each individual position, but it's going to come down to one of those big 3 for the overall win. We've got a 350-pound stone, and it's who wants it the most. Who's going to lift that stone more than the next man? We could see some epic battles. We've already seen Matt McKeegan go down on the deadlift and down on the deadlift, and he keeps pushing. I expect to see the same. He's in contention for the win. He's going to give everything.
These athletes will leave it all out there today, right now. That stone weighs 1.5 times the weight of every one of our athletes. This is a massive piece of equipment that they're going to have to move until failure, until they have nothing left.
What's impressed you so far today?
I've been really, not so much impressed or even surprised, but I mean, the athleticism of these 105K athletes to be able to survive through 9 events now over 2 days.
What are we up to? We're up to an hour and a half of competition, and we've got through 4 events.
It's incredible. Yeah, you're not going to see that at any heavyweight competition.
If it was heavyweights now, they would all be dying.
Correct. Yeah, but I'm really excited to see what these top 5 end up pulling out.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So we should be moving to the stones shortly.
They've got that big 350 set up over there.
So the rules on this stone, the athlete has 15 seconds to lift the stone from the floor up to their lap. Once it's lapped, they have 30 seconds to get it over. If they don't manage to do that in that time, they are eliminated. And it's going to go reverse of the overall score this time. So out first, we will have... We've lost one of our athletes, Frank Provenzano, has had to pull out due to a bicep injury.
The injury's been nagging for the last day or so.
So Eric Olmsted will be our first athlete out.
These are all warriors. These are all champions.
The head-to-head stones, 350 pounds.
Interesting to notice that the cloud cover has pulled over really quickly.
Oh, there was talk of a storm coming this way today. It may be on its way.
I'm wondering the effect that's going to have on this tack on the stone. It's going to keep it from getting too hot and nasty and maybe give these competitors an edge. We're going to find out.
Right now, the temperature's good.
Perfect.
Explain to people what you're talking about, the tack, because some people watching might not know what that is.
So In Strongman, we have our Atlas stones, and to aid in the lifting of a stone and to prevent injury to some extent, we use a compound made of various materials that lets that stone stick to our arm so we can lift it up and load it without hurting ourselves. So you might see that's come into play here on this stone. If you're wondering what that gooey stuff is coming off of it, that's what you're looking at.
So our first two athletes are out.
Looking like the stone is actually pretty clean, though.
It'll be clean right now, but it won't be by the last athlete. 350 pounds. Loaded, no problem.
Yeah, minimal tack, so looking in good shape.
Wilkinson returns the stone. Hot potato with a 350-pound concrete ball.
Pitching it back and forth to each other like a couple of kids with a soccer ball.
I wouldn't want to kick it.
Still plenty of life in both athletes.
These are determined athletes. They're down the end of the leaderboard, but they want to prove to everyone they are worthy. They want to show everyone that they mean business. They're going to come back again. There we go. Our first failed lift of the day. And is that Bob Swanson that's come in? Big Bob loads
Schwantz
that
has
stone
dropped
over.
in to do it. No problem. Olmsted looking strong through the first few reps.
Nice extension there through the hips. So Bob has his arms taped up. That's to protect the forearms. These stones are very rough. They kind of cut into the skin. Some athletes, though, find that it's off-putting to have that on their arms, and they go just skin against stone, which you'll often end up seeing them with burnt-looking arms. The skin is taken off. But some athletes just prefer the feel of having their skin against the stone.
And it does affect your wrist flexion, your ability, I think, to grab onto some of these larger diameter stones. But these competitors know what they're doing and are wrapping themselves the best way possible to protect themselves and to give them the best advantage.
Matt Powell, first load of his stone. He's struggling here. His body is feeling it from these 9 events that he's done so far this weekend, and he cannot get that stone over. Now, this is an interesting advantage for Bob now. He's getting a longer rest.
Mikowski coming in currently in 4th place. A big performance here could put him on the podium.
Bob Schwantz loads it back over.
Mikowski, not a great grip, but gets it over. Bob's still looking exceptionally strong at this point.
Yeah, Bob making easy work of that lift then.
See that tack. There he goes with the lift.
Can he get this one over? Yes, no problem.
No problem at all.
He's not wasting any effort. He's just making it high enough, gets it over. Every rep looks the same. The only thing I will say is those sleeves starting to tear open there, the tape on his forearm, starting to have some skin poke through. That can start to make it harder.
And Bob takes out his second competitor. It still looks like he's got a lot of life left.
Whitston is our next athlete. Now, this looks like a man that can load an Atlas stone.
He's moved quick in the pole events in this competition. Definitely has that posterior chain strength. No problem with the extension. Pitching it back to Schwantz, who is still looking very strong.
Last event of the day. Just keep grinding.
Look at this guy go. What an incredible athlete.
I think that's the 12th athlete that he's managed to get past.
Schwantz is an absolute animal. This is incredible.
So last year's champion, Isaac Mays, he's just off the chase, really, for the top 3. But he won't want to slip down the board too much. He's a good stone lifter.
He is, and he's paced himself well this entire competition. I don't see Mays going out. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Wow.
What an upset.
And that was just a mistake there.
Yeah, no, it slipped. It rolled on him. That was incredible.
And Bob has gone through 5 now. 5 athletes that Bob has taken out.
We're looking at Matt Powell here, right? I'm sorry, not Matt Powell. Yeah, I'm sorry, Richie. Mochi Zemba. Bob going at it again. Just as strong as his first. That tack, sealing him to that stone. Mochi coming back for his next pull. That tack you can see, sticking that stone to the ground at this point.
There's a lot more tacky on the stone now as well, which tends to stick to the floor.
It does, and you feel it every time you lift it. Look at Bob. What a champion.
Wow. I've lost count of how many reps Bob has done now, and now he's getting the crowd involved.
Feeling it.
There we go. That's what we want to see. Some emotion from Bob.
Bob is going to keep on going.
Bob's going to take everyone out.
That would be the story. Look at him go. Bob Schwantz. This has got to be the most incredible performance of the day.
Without question, this is unbelievable by Bob now. Can he do another rep? The crowd want to see it. They're cheering him on.
Chattahoochee
Up to the lap. This is
Strongman.
going over. This is going over. Come on.
Does he have
Come
one
on, Bob.
more?
Oh.
Bob exits.
Just too much in the end. We willed him to do it. The crowd willed him. Unbelievable effort.
Beautiful performance by an awesome strongman and an awesome guy. He has his family here today. All 15 of his kids.
So Andrew has got it all to do. He needs to dig deep. He's currently in 3rd place. He is the current world champion.
Andrew's got long arms. He's a great stone loader. And he still looks fresh. And Richie makes his exit.
So now we are into the battle of the top 3. Matthew McKeegan currently in 2nd place. The Irishman performing exceptionally well this weekend. Up to his lap.
Not a great stone loader. This is a very wide 350-pound stone, though. And Andrew has the edge on wingspan here. I think it's got to come down to who wants it the most and who's still fresh.
That is what it's all about. Who wants it more than the next guy?
Andrew looking very fast and very strong still.
Both of them really motoring through these. And both look fresh still.
They still have a ways to go for sure.
This is daunting for Dan Hughes watching, knowing he's going to have to do a lot of reps to stay ahead. Ideally, Dan is watching this thinking, okay, if Matt McKeegan fails, I just need to beat Matt. I don't necessarily have to beat Andrew Clayton. He's got a 2-point lead, 2.5-point lead on Clayton.
Right.
So he doesn't need to beat him on the event. He just needs to make sure he's just behind him.
Exactly, and that's where the experience comes in with somebody like Dan.
This looks like it might be the
that tacky is becoming a detriment now. It's getting greasy, and that stone is slipping.
Dan Hughes will know what he needs to do. He doesn't need to beat Andrew Clayton to win this title. He's going to have a number set in his head. Now he needs to perform. Andrew's still making this stone look exceptionally easy.
I will tell you that last rep was personal. Andrew is looking at Dan right now as the enemy. There is no chance that this kid is going to give out.
That was a better lift that time from Dan. Sometimes it takes a lift to kind of get used to the stone, get a feel for it. But Clayton is just looking absolutely rock solid.
He looks like he's got his second win. He knows that he's just moments away from a potential win of the finals. Still picking very fast.
Oh, he's just been a bit clumsy there, but he's managed to hold on. There we go.
Extension still looking very strong.
Yeah, that extension just looks so powerful once he gets it onto his lap. Dan, on the other hand, not looking quite as effective, but he's getting the job done.
He is. He knows Dan had his shirt bunched up in the back, and that's to keep the shirt from sticking to the stone and preventing him from loading it over the bar. Andrew's got his cinched down by a belt.
Oh, I'm not.
But that stone is greasy and sticky. Andrew showing him that he's still got it.
Dan is just shaking his head, thinking, not again. But he needs more. He needs to dig deep if he wants to win this. This is, how much do you want it now, Dan? You've done the work. This is the last event. You've got to fight.
Does he have it?
I don't know that that's enough.
No, I don't think it is.
Just talking with the referees to see if he needs to do more. Oh, it's going to be interesting to see.
Clayton's going to keep going. And the scoring is so tight right now. Clayton really does need this stuff.
Really, he needs to make sure he beats Bob Swans. And Bob coming second on this could do him a huge favor.
Clayton's still full of energy.
Now he's talking.
This is a man on fire.
He's had some terrible injuries over the last few years. And I think he's just reminding people that he is back. Unbelievable competitor.
Clayton with an excellent performance. We're going to have to see what the scorecard looks like.
Yes, indeed. We wait for the scores to come in. It's going to be a tight finish. Breezer coming over. We should know the results in a few minutes. We're going to head to a quick commercial, and once we're back, we'll find out the results. Stay tuned.
Through our struggles, there are opportunities. Opportunities that can change us and change the world. Born out of risk, strife, persistence, and triumph. From the bottom, we can rise. Risen, we can dominate. We are strong. We are pioneer.
Why is just a starting line? For the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
All about a quality product that lasts a really long time that you never have to worry about.
Sheer consistency from the top three. They've really kind of performed so exceptionally well. Dan Hughes has had amazing performances. Andrew Clayton, other than one small weakness, has been unstoppable. But for me, Matt McKeegan has just been very, very solid. Hasn't come out and won anything, but he's put himself in contention for the overall by always placing high. And I always admire that when I watch Strongman. If you can have that consistency, it's important. So these are the stone results here. You can see Andrew Clayton taking the win. Bob Schwantz, now this is important. Bob taking second place and Richie in third. That is what Andrew needed because he was a few points behind Matt and Dan. But when we see the overalls, that might be enough to take the win.
Did that make the difference?
We'll wait and find out. But he said he was going to win 4 events, and he went and won 4 events.
Incredible.
But there we go. The performance for me there was Bob. Because Bob was out of contention, and sometimes when you're out of contention, you're not willing to push yourself to the limit. But he wanted to show he belonged here. He wanted to go out on a high, and he really did that. And the crowd got behind him. I think for me, that was my favorite moment when he was feeling it. He was battered, and the crowd responded, and he kept delivering. It was so good to see. He went through 5 of the other athletes.
It was an incredible performance. I don't think I've seen anybody rout that many athletes on a stone off ever.
And let's remember, this was a 350-pound, sorry, a 350-pound stone.
Yeah.
That's a big weight.
Yeah, incredible performance, Bob. Maybe the upsetter.
Oh, indeed. Has that made the difference? We're just waiting to find out.
This 3-way tie, though, is interesting between McKeegan, Hughes, and Mochizemba.
Yep.
How does that play into this?
Well, normally you're rewarded 12 points. If there's 12 athletes, you're awarded 12 points for a win, and it goes down 11, 10, 9. But when athletes are tied, those places are put together. So you should have a 10, a 9, and an 8 to put that together. It should be a 9 point for each of those athletes.
See how this plays out shortly in our final standings.
Excited and eagerly awaiting the overall result.
Through our struggles, there are opportunities. opportunities that can change us and change the world. Born out of risk, strife, persistence, and triumph. From the bottom, we can rise. Risen, we can dominate. We are strong. We are pioneer.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity in unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
As an all-volunteer organization, our stated purpose is to give back to those most affected from the global war on terror. These are our single, double, triple amputees. In the last several years, we've been able to build 5 wheelchair-accessible homes, and since then, we've changed our focus, and we're looking to combat veteran homelessness as a whole. If you have the ability and the means to give back in any way, please visit 9linefoundation.org and see how you can help.
All about a quality product that lasts a really long time that you never have to worry about.
Win 49 points for the American. He is the Clash on the Coast champion for 2023. Dan Hughes, very solid in the end, 48 points, and Matthew McKeegan on another podium. Second place last year, third place this year, 46 points. What a battle we've seen. Last year's champion Isaac placing 5th. What a contest.
Incredibly tight race for our podium winners. Andrew Clayton in the end pulling through.
He just was so dominant. It was one weakness. That was it. All weekend.
No, just one hiccup. And he probably planned
And when
for
you're
it.
that good at everything else, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
He truly is so just, I've seen him do so many impressive things now. He's done endurance type events. I think he's done the longest ever seated skier.
Yeah, he took a record for that a while ago.
He's competed at super heavyweights at 350 pounds.
Correct.
He's come down to the under 231 pound class. He became the world champion. He's won Clash on the Coast. He's won everything there is to win. What else can this guy do?
I think this guy deserves an invite to a bigger show.
You think that could happen soon? He's really so dominant.
Incredible performance, but also from Dan Hughes and Matt McKeegan. Just incredibly powerful from the qualifiers all the way through the finals.
I'll tell you what, some of the athletes that we saw yesterday that didn't quite make the final, there's big futures for them as well. A lot of new athletes coming through right now, new opportunities, younger athletes kind of showing what they're capable of.
Absolutely. The new generation. I mean, you and I have been doing this for 20-something years.
Way too long. Way too long. Much, much easier
You
to
know.
just sit back and watch now.
Watching these 20-something-year-olds like Alimo and Wilkinson and, just brand new guys coming in and absolutely killing so early on. The sport is growing. It's going to be an interesting next few years. A very bright future ahead, I think.
It really is. So I think we're going to have our presentation soon. But we have our winner, Andrew Clayton.
By 1 point.
1 point. It was a lot closer than people expected in the end. Dan Hughes did so well. It really was thanks to Bob Schwantz's stone performance was what got in the way.
I think Andrew owes Bob a drink.
I think so. And I think Bob will accept. There's our champion. He's coming over for an interview soon. So tell us about tomorrow. What can we expect from the women?
We have a stacked lineup with our female competitors, our 82 kg female athletes, coming to Clash on the Coast for their own standalone show starting at 1 p.m. on ESPN. These are the finest female athletes that we have in Strongman. And from all over the world, they've descended upon Hilton Head to battle each other to find out who is the best of the best.
Today we had a battle with our male athletes. They're all going to have some fun tonight after this presentation. We'll be going to the winner's circle soon.
As we're waiting on the winner's ceremony, I'd like to take the time to thank our sponsors, our volunteers, our commentators, our interviewers, without whom none of this is possible. Clash on the Coast is a culmination of a lot of time and efforts between a lot of different people.
Athletes are out there now. There you have it, our 2023 finalists. Head referee Bobby Thompson, one of the absolute strongest men on the planet right now. So we're going to head over to our winner's circle for our presentation of Clash on the Coast 2023. Third place, Matthew McKeegan from Ireland. Our second place athlete representing the US Army, Dan Hughes. Brilliant performance all weekend from Dan. And our champion,
And there it is. Andrew Clayton with the win. Don't call it a comeback. This kid has battled back. to take first in the most difficult 105-kilo men's contest on the planet. Congratulations to Andrew, to Dan, Matt, and all of our competitors.
Yes, indeed. All of them have battled so hard all weekend. Now they're going to go and enjoy themselves.
Absolutely.
There's our champion. It's the first time we've seen him smiling all weekend. Andrew Clayton is number one. Number
Dan
2 is our
Hughes.
Irishman.
Dan Hughes in second.
Yep. Dan Hughes, second place. And our third place athlete, all the way from Ireland, Matthew McKeegan in the orange shorts.
Hi, Andrew. Congrats. All right, so fresh off the podium, Andrew Clayton. And Andrew told me something rather exciting that I want him to announce.
So I gave everybody a chance to get me one more time at 105. I only wore these gold shoes for this show, but I'm officially done with 105 shows. So this was the last one, so I'm going out on a win.
The last cut.
So don't call it a comeback, because when I tell you I can do something, I'm going to do it.
Well, congrats, Andrew, and good luck at the next weight class. I can't wait to see you eat.
Thanks, Brittany. I am really looking forward to the eating.
Enjoy. How do you feel?
Pretty bummed, if I'm being honest. It's the second year in a row, lost first place in stones in the last event. Last year I was a little bit closer. This year I thought I had a good enough lead. Apparently I didn't. Pretty disappointed to hear Clayton announcing, because I think after the last 2 comps against him, it's getting closer and closer. I think he's scared. But unfortunately it looks like I'll be 0-2 against him in the 105 class. But overall it was a great show, great performance from everyone here. I'm really proud to compete against these guys.
Yeah, very solid performance. You're consistent across everything I've ever seen from you, and you look like you're walking, and you feel good?
Yeah, I mean, a huge part of competing at shows like this is conditioning, obviously. I take my conditioning very seriously, especially my mental conditioning, prepare for all the fast-paced, last-minute changes, stuff like that. The mental aspect of the game is probably the biggest thing I focus on, because everybody here trains hard physically, but I think one of the biggest differences for me is the mental aspect and mental preparation for it.
Yeah, you definitely do a great job keeping composed, so good luck with the rest of training, and I know you're bummed. You, Dan, thank you.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Because I actually came to your first show in Jersey, the Clash one, so you've come a long way. Tell us where you're from.
I'm from Derry in Ireland, and I love competing in America. There's not as many opportunities at home, and then the guys in America, it's like a proper brotherhood right here. I've got so many good friends, and it's always a pleasure to compete against the guys like me and Dan, and Clayton's obviously, in my opinion, Clayton's the best 105 that's ever walked the planet, in my opinion. So obviously he never liked to not win, but if I could come second or third to 2 other guys, Dan and Clayton would be the guys. So I was very happy to get through to day 2, because day 1 was a really hard day for me, all the worst events, and we ended up having a 3-way tie. So it was like an emotional roller coaster yesterday getting through. So I was very happy to be in day 2. Day 2, I knew those were good events for me. And to be honest, not taking anything away from the other 2 guys, but a couple of real silly amateur mistakes that I shouldn't be making cost me points. So I know if I keep coming back, I'll keep getting better, and I will be world champion very soon.
Will be. And the one thing I just want to say really quick is that back home your grandfather is watching, so give him a shout out.
Granda Billy, thanks for watching. I hope you're keeping you well, and I love you. And Mum, my sister, and my girlfriend Claire, who's there, and my 3 kids. Hey guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Safe travels back.
Great to hear from our athletes. Our top 3, unbelievable today. Every single athlete putting everything on the line. It's been an amazing contest. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I know Ryan Rhodes has enjoyed it. Thank you from both of us. Thank you from Brittany Diamond. It's been an amazing Clash 2023. We have the women's competition tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.